Hello, happy Tuesday. I'm going live on Tuesdays now, every other week instead of Mondays. And in today's live, I wanted to talk about how to get your morning started off in a powerful way, as well as some mindset tips. So, if you don't know who I am Julie with Balanced Life with Julie. I'm a regenerative health practitioner and holistic nutritionist. And basically, I'm passionate about sharing the message of health and well being and empowering others to get their health on what's the word? Get their health in the most vibrant state possible. That's what I meant to say. So, yeah, if you're not familiar with my story, I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism and Hashimoto's. I dealt with and adrenal fatigue and depression, and I dealt with those conditions for many, many years before I became a practitioner. And part of what has brought me to this work is I figured out the way to actually allow my body to heal itself at the root, get to the root of chronic illness that I was dealing with. And so I'm really passionate about sharing this information with others so that others can also get their health and their well-being on track. So let's talk about morning routine. There's a saying that I heard a long time ago. If you win your morning, you win the day. And I really love that because it really is about starting off with the right mindset to get your day started, right? And a lot of people, and I was one of those people, the alarm goes off, you're hitting snooze about 5 times, and then you crawl out of bed and you got to get the day started. And you're in a state of stress. You're thinking about all the things that have to get done in a day. And maybe you stumble into your kitchen, make yourself a cup of coffee, and kind of like get your day started in this like almost like a frenzied state. And so there's a whole other way that you can start your days. And that's what I would like to share with you. So I used to be one of those people. That would have like a double shot of espresso on an empty stomach, rush to a HIIT workout for like 6:45 in the morning. And just like, especially when I was dealing with hypothyroidism and Hashimoto's, I was always like, my body always hurt, right? Like my joints were inflamed. My whole body hurt all the time. And I was making myself do these intense workouts. I was heavily caffeinated. I did not feel good at all, no matter how much I worked out. And I definitely didn't lose any weight either. And so I've learned how to do my days completely differently. And I've definitely, well, first of all, I reversed hypothyroidism and Hashimoto's over 5 years ago. So I've been completely off medication for over 5 years. I like to say I'm off my meds. So yeah, I've been off all medications for over 5 years and feeling absolutely amazing. And it just gets better and better and better. I like to say that I'm officially in the biohacking phase of my life, just in terms of what I'm able to do for my own health and how I nourish myself, how I hydrate myself, how I take care of myself. And it's just wonderful to experience feeling better and better and better in my body, even as chronologically I'm getting older, right? But so your age can go up, but you can reverse. You can biologically be younger, considerably younger than whatever your chronological age is. So let's talk about morning routines, okay? The most important thing is mindset, right? The mindset is going to lay the foundation for the day. So if you get up and you've got like this feeling of dread and stress and all of this, feeling of overwhelm, that's going to spill into your day. And it's also going to create a situation with your nervous system where where you're on in fight or flight, you're on high alert. So you can start working on your, sorry, I'm like working on my hydrogen bottle as I do this video. So you can start to work on your mindset even before your eyes open. So as soon as you start to come into awareness, start to practice gratitude, start to think about what it is that you are grateful for, and allow, start to do some deep breathing first thing. I love to do this, as soon as I kind of start to wake up in the morning, right away, I've trained my mind to start thinking about gratitude and appreciation. So first thing in the morning, I'm always like thankful. I'm like, thank you. Thank you, Creator, for allowing me to have another day. Thank you, Creator, for this comfortable bed. Thank you, Creator, for a safe space. And I'll like lay there for a few minutes and I'll just let my mind run off all the things that I am grateful and appreciative of. And then I like to meditate in bed. I used to have a meditation space in a whole other separate section of our house, but the last year or so I've gotten in the habit of just like, I don't do anything else. I just like sit upright in bed. I'll either put on a sweatshirt or I have a weighted blanket that I keep beside the bed, and I'll just put that on and I'll start right away. I'll start doing my meditation. So, I prefer doing a long meditation, but even if you just sit up and do like 5 minutes and just do some deep breathing and continue to think about gratitude and appreciation, and notice how, like, allow yourself to actually really feel grateful, right? What does that feel like? That energy has a sensation in the body. So allow yourself to actually feel grateful and let that kind of permeate through your cells and tissues. And then you can get up. And when you get up, I would really strongly encourage you to do some type of a light mobility routine or yoga routine. In my bedroom, I always like to have a yoga mat. So sometimes I use the yoga mat, sometimes I don't. If I just have like say 5-10 minutes, I'm just going to do a mobility routine that's like pretty basic, where I'm getting some movement through my spine, doing some things for my hips, my low back, my shoulders. And it might just be a few minutes, but what it does is it gets the blood flowing and moving throughout the body. And then, I usually will go down to the kitchen and I'll start my molecular hydrogen bottle. I usually will do sun frequencies first thing in the morning. And as I'm like feeding the dogs and getting some breakfast ready for myself, like I personally like to start with some fruit first thing. And I also like to have my green shake first thing. So alkalizing greens. Well, actually, before I have the greens, I always have the hydrogen and some aminos, but then I'll have the greens and I'll wait about 20 minutes or so and I'll have some fruit of some sort. But in this like little morning routine, which isn't even a half hour to be honest, like if you were to kind of chunk it that way, you can have like a pretty solid morning routine that doesn't even take half an hour, but in it, you've worked on your mindset, you've done some breath work and meditation, you've done some intention setting for the day, you've gotten in some mobility and some hydration and quality nourishment into your body. So that's like one of the ways to have like an absolutely winning morning routine, and you'll feel the difference in your body if you can start to get in the habit. Now, sometimes what happens is, you'll start off right and then you'll get sidetracked, right? Like depending on how your household is. Like let's say that you have kids, right? So you get up in the morning, you do your gratitude practice, maybe you do a few minutes of meditation, and then you go off to the kitchen and you've got, kids to deal with, and it kind of goes off kilter a little bit. That's okay. The main thing to do is to just keep practicing, right? Just keep trying to get yourself back on track. And if you can, one of the secrets to this is, if you can get up before the rest of your household gets up, that's ideal. So it's like, if you could get up a half hour before everybody else to do some breath work and meditation and a gratitude practice, and do a little bit of mobility for yourself, and then get into the kitchen and have some water. And if you don't have a molecular hydrogen bottle, you can have some water and squeeze some lemon in there, and have some fruit to kind of like get your day started. If you could do that before you're having to be around others, it's really going to profoundly change how you feel as you get into your day, right? And that's really what it is it's about kind of filling up your cup. That's the word. It's like filling up your cup before you have to meet the world. And oftentimes what happens for a lot of people, it's, if you're somebody who tends to, hit the snooze button a few times, and you're getting up later than you want to, and you're kind of like scrambling to get your day started, then you're kind of like behind the 8 ball and you're in reaction mode. But when you start your day with meditation, with breath work, with intention, now you're starting your day in a parasympathetic state. And that means that you're not going to be in reaction mode. It's sympathetic versus parasympathetic. So if you can be in the parasympathetic state where you have ground yourself, you've done some meditation, you've done some breath work, what's going to happen is that you're just going to be able to greet your day with a sense of calm and vitality. Now, I suggested that you have fruit first thing in the morning, and I'm sure some people are going to be watching this video going, but Julie, fruit is sugar. No. Fruit has fructose in it, or fructose, depending on how you pronounce it. But that is something that our body is designed to have. We have enzymes in our mouth that actually break down fruit, and they're designed to break down fruit. In fact, the enzymes in our mouth, because they break down fruit, we actually need no inputs from our pancreas or from our adrenals. And fruit is actually the easiest thing to break down and digest and absorb into the body. And it's very, very energizing and beneficial. So some of the best fruits that you can have, especially for the purposes of detoxification, would be different types of citrus fruits in the morning. It is like we're almost entering into summer. So if you can get your hands on some organic watermelons, go for it, because watermelon is high vibration fruit. It is very, very astringent. And what it actually does is it starts to move the lymph. And if there's stagnation within the body, it will start to move that out of the body. So it's really, really powerful. The other thing I'm going to say about melons, and watermelon in particular, is it breaks down and digests the fastest. So make sure that you always have melons on their own. Do not combine melons with other types of fruits, because those other fruits don't digest as efficiently as melons. Or as quickly as melons, I should say. The other things are berries are great to have as well. Grapes are incredible. Grapes are very, very astringent, kind of similar to watermelon in how they pull and move lymph in the body. So those are really, really great fruits to start your day off with. And yeah, it's like get that lymph moving first thing in the morning. And the other great thing about fruits in general is that fruits are structured water. Fruits are like, because they're, especially like something like watermelon, it literally says it in the name, watermelon, right? It's mostly water. And it's actually the best type of water to put into your body is the water that we get from fruit, because it's structured water. And so, yes, I love my molecular hydrogen water, but I also love eating fruit because it is so, so nourishing and hydrating. Really, honestly, the best way to start your day. If you have questions about that, you can definitely drop them into the chat. I'm more than happy to answer them, or to do another video to explain a little bit further. And we want our body to be as efficient as possible. So when you get up in the morning and if you're having a breakfast that has like grains and animal products and like, you know, potatoes and things like that, and you're kind of having this mishmash of stuff, all of those things digest and break down at different rates. And it actually is really, really hard for your body to break down grains and animal products. It's actually two of the hardest things for your body to try to digest. And so that's how you're starting your day, and you're having your breakfast like that every single day, it's no wonder by the mid-morning you've got a crash, like an energy crash. But if you start your day with fruit, you're going to feel energized, you're going to feel satiated, you're going to feel like magnetic and electric. You're going to feel really, really good in your body, and that's how you want to feel. So those would be my recommendations in terms of starting off the day. Gratitude and appreciation first thing, some form of meditation, even if it's like 5 to 10 minutes, perfect. Some type of mobility or yoga routine. And then, nourishment, hydration and nourishment. If you can get in that habit every single day, you are going to be absolutely golden. Personally, I like to do a longer meditation, but I've been meditating for a long, long time, and my body feels good feels a lot better when I'm doing longer meditations. But I also have the benefit of being able to design my day and schedule my day as I see fit. And so I'm able to schedule a longer meditation session for myself in the morning. But if you had to just create a half-hour morning routine, you could literally do like gratitude and appreciation, meditation for like 10 minutes, mobility movement for like 10 to 15 minutes, and then be downstairs, be in your kitchen having like, hydration, having some water with lemon or molecular hydrogen with frequencies, and having some fresh fruit. And that is like, boom, you have started your day. That's like your morning success, that you're setting your day up for success if you can start your morning like that. So speaking of which, I wanted to talk about meditation. This kind of segues nicely into what I wanted to talk about. I've had a meditation practice since 2007, and I'm a big, big proponent of meditation because everything comes from, if you're not really into energy and frequency, this might be a little bit over your head, but everything starts in the 5D, right? Everything starts from the unseen. It goes from the unseen to the seen, right? And so when we're doing meditation is actually an opportunity to tap into those realms, to tap into the unseen, to tap into the energy and the consciousness that creates all that we see, all of life itself, right? If you don't have a meditation practice, and if you think it's just you trying to do life and trying to figure out life, and you're not tapped into that higher vibration, that higher consciousness, then at times, especially when you're going through periods of stress, when you're going through challenges in your life, you're going to feel very, very isolated and alone. But the beautiful thing about a meditation practice, especially a daily meditation practice, is it allows you to connect to that source energy. And I encourage absolutely everyone to have some kind of connection to source, whether you want to call it God, whether you want to call it universe, whether you want to call it Allah, does not matter what you want to call that source energy. I like to use the words creator and universe kind of interchangeably, but I recognize that everything that I have in my life, I did not create. I was blessed with it. I was gifted the every opportunity that I have in my life. And so I'm profoundly grateful to that source. And therefore, I practice meditation and prayer every single day. It's the first thing I do in the morning, and it's always the last thing that I do at night. And, I like doing sitting meditation, focusing on breath, but there are different ways to meditate. Some people go out in nature and they're in nature and they go walking and they connect to the world around them, the natural world around them, and that's their way of communing with the divine. And if that's your way, that's fine. I like doing sitting meditation. I like having a prayer practice of some sort, but make it a ritual. Make it something that you do every single day. And if you can tap into that higher consciousness on a daily basis, you're going to feel a lot better overall. And when challenges come up in your life, you're going to be able to, give it over to that higher power to guide you, to help you to move through it, so that it's not just you trying to figure things out, right? So there are different ways to do a meditation practice. Like I said, I like sitting up in bed, but you can, sit in a chair, you can sit on a couch, you can have a meditation cushion, you can make it as formal or informal. But the most important thing is that you do it on a daily basis. And if this is something that you haven't really thought about or ever done, try and do at least starting out 10 to 15 minutes. When you initially start out, your mind is going to be like a wild animal. It's going to go all over the place. You're going to have so many thoughts that are going to be bouncing from one place to another, all like constantly. And that's okay. That's part of the process. The most important thing to do is to just come back to a focus point. And that focus point can be your breath. It can be a spot on your body, like you can focus on your hands, or you can focus where your breath comes in and out of your body through your nose. Girls, please don't. Benefit of shooting a video from a home office. Or you can even have sound that you're focusing on, or some people, when they do like a meditation where they're focused on a candle or focused on an image, it doesn't matter. The point is that you have a focus point, and that every single time you find your mind getting distracted or you're getting lost in thought, you notice, oh, look, I got distracted again, and you come back to the focus point. Don't judge the fact that you got distracted. Don't judge the fact that, maybe your mind wandered off. The most important thing to do when you're trying to meditate is just to notice that the mind drifts and to bring it back. Constantly bringing it back to that focus point, that's how you develop your ability to stay focused and to discipline your mind so that it's not all over the place. And it's normal. It happens to everyone. I mean, I've been meditating now. I've had a meditation practice now since 2007. And lately, I don't know what it is. There's like some energy happening in the universe, but every time I go to meditate, like my mind is like very scattered, and it takes quite a bit of practice and precision to keep bringing it back to the focus point. But that's the work. And that's how you actually train your mind and discipline your mind, is by just continually bringing it back to that focus point. And so whether you're doing it for, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, doesn't matter. It just matters. Harley, please don't. It just matters that you show up and you do the practice every single day. So, ideally you want to do 10 to 15 minutes in the morning, 10 to 15 minutes at night. If that's not possible, just at least do the morning and get in the habit, and just notice as you get in the habit of doing that, how things change. Like hopefully You'll notice there's a shift in your nervous system. There's a shift in how your mind approaches the day. And just there's going to be a shift in how you feel in your body. But it's definitely something that you want to get in the habit of doing. And once you get used to doing, say, 10 to 15 minutes, then you can start to stretch it out to 20 minutes, stretch it out to 25 minutes, eventually 30 minutes, and just like gradually work the time up. And you'll also notice that doing that, there's always going to be that initial resistance from the mind of like, oh my goodness, I don't have the time. And, you know, you may even feel like you're wasting your time. But honestly, one of the best things that I ever did for myself was to start having a regular meditation practice. And now that I've done it for this many years, I don't go a day without it. You know, it's a part of my morning routine. It's something that I do before I do anything else. I don't look at my phone. I don't even talk to my other half before I do meditation. He's normally sleeping anyway, but I usually get up and I do my meditation practice before I do absolutely anything else. And it makes a huge difference in how my days go and how I feel. And to me, it's as basic as brushing my teeth. So anyway, I hope that hey guys, no, I hope that you found some value in, oh, actually, one last thing I'm going to mention is, I mean, I tend to meditate without having an alarm. I just like meditate and I can kind of feel in my body when it's time to stop. But if you are someone who you just want to meditate for say 10 to 15 minutes and you're worried about it, you know, losing track of time, just set an alarm for yourself so you're not thinking about it, and then just focus on whatever you're focusing on, whether it's breath, whether it's a word or a phrase, whether it's a visual. Just keep focused on that while you're doing your practice. So yeah, I hope that helps. I hope you start your meditation practice if you haven't already. And once you start, let me know how it goes. I love to hear how people find this particular practice. If you found value in this video, please feel free to share it with whoever you think may benefit from this information. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe. For anybody who's watching this, if you are wanting to address the root causes of chronic health issues, autoimmune conditions like hypothyroidism or hypothyroidism, Hashimoto's, Graves, those kinds of things, make sure that you check out my program, Elevate. I guide you step by step on addressing the root causes of chronic illness and dis-ease within the body. So you can check that out in the caption below. And thank you for being a part of my online community. I love that I get to put this information out into the world. And I definitely hope that you found value in this video today. And I will see you in the next live. Bye for now.